The Fever are undefeated on Barbie night. So the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky on Barbie night, of which Angel Reese was not in the game. She is who Barbie night is pretty much named after, but she is out with a back injury. As a matter of fact, many of their players are out. Mariah Jefferson is out. Haley Van Lith is out. Again, Angel Reese is out. So this game, in my mind, was pretty much a lock. And I gotta say, it was not the funnest game. And the fact that the Chicago Sky even brought it back, they were just killing them by the first half. I almost called the game in my live. I didn't call the game. I didn't want to jinx it. And then the Chicago Sky brought it within 4 points. So I have to give it up to the Chicago Sky for not laying down on this battle, for actually putting a lot of effort. Camila Cardoso put a lot more effort into this game than she generally does. And Rachel Bannum was on fire, single-handedly preventing the Sky from getting blown out. She came away with so many three-pointers. I was just like so upset whenever I would see her open because she would always just knock it down. But let's get back to the Fever because there are some awesome things that did come out of this, like 35 points from Kelsey Mitchell, 6 assists. I definitely saw a 7th in there where Aaliyah Boston missed a pretty easy bunny. But that means Kelsey Mitchell was sharing the ball. She also got 3 steals and she made a few disruptions. And honestly, her defense has grown exponentially. I bet one of the best, if not the best 2-guard in the league right now, which is what happened last season. It just took Kelsey Mitchell a little while to really heat up. And then in her position, there wasn't a 2-guard better in the league at the last half of last season. Makayla Timpson, this was a great game for Makayla Timpson to be put in. She got to practice her offense, something that I really, really want her to hone. She has a bit of like tunnel vision and I noticed she was still having some issues kicking out in those times where she's kind of trying to fight through some like difficult defense instead of just like kicking it out. But oh man, she had a beautiful rebound because Makayla Timpson just is that girl. She had some steals. She was disruptive. Like on defense, Makayla Timpson, like I am so excited to see what Makayla Timpson turns into. And if she just hones her offense, this is like nothing but upside. Now, Aaliyah Boston, not a great game for her, but somehow she flirted with a triple-double. She had 6 assists at the first half, and then she had none at the second half. So she did not get her triple-double. I think that she showed a lot of signs of frustration against Camila Cardoso. Camila was kind of cooking her. I don't know what it is about Camila, but Camila does kind of give Aaliyah Boston problems. I do think that her combination with Natasha Howard is a little tricky, and this was just a terrible night for Natasha Howard. This does not mean I think she's a terrible player. I just think it was just one of those nights where she needed to be taken out. Steph White did take her out. She played 12 minutes. She came away with literally no points. Did she even have any rebounds? She had zero rebounds. She did have 3 assists and she did have a steal, but she just was not effective on the court tonight. There were a few things that I really did like seeing from Aari McDonald. I really like Aari McDonald's cuts. I really like how she drives into the paint for layups, but this wasn't her best night. I do have to say that. However, moving on to Chloe Bibby. Chloe Bibby hits the court like 15 seconds later, does exactly what they brought her to do, spot up, knocks down a 3. And you know, I know everybody got super excited about Aari in her first game. Everybody's getting super excited about Chloe Bibby in her first game because what were her stats? She was in for 10 minutes. She came away with 8 points. That is so super solid. And truthfully, if she can keep this consistency up, I really liked what she did on defense. She had a block. She was very disruptive defensively. She was like very pesky on defense. And again, if she can keep up this consistency, this is what I think that they were wanting Dantas to be doing. Spotting up, shooting threes. Chloe Bibby is young. Chloe Bibby has legs. And apparently what was communicated to her was to bring energy, to bring some fast pace. And again, I don't think that the Fever need more stars. I think they need more role players. They need more of the little pieces to fit in, to build up, because those little pieces do add up to success. So I'm very much looking forward to what she's able to do, because though she was only signed to a 7-day contract, I do believe that the Indiana Fever are using this as a trial run. I don't think that they want to sign somebody immediately without understanding how they fit into the team. I think they might be traumatized from a little bit of the Dewana Bonner effect, 9 games and piecing out. And Lexi Holt has been coming in off the bench because her performance has kind of like gone down a little bit. I would say she's in a little bit of a shooting slump, and her defense went down. Not in the last game. Her defense was great. But in the few games before that, her defense kind of went down a little bit, and she just was not able to put up offensive numbers. So she was replaced by Sophie Cunningham. Cunningham has been the hot hand. However, Lexi Holt definitely outperformed Sophie Cunningham tonight, and I can definitely see a world in which they kind of switch off at starting spots. But Lexi Holt brought the grit. Lexi Holt brought her blue-collar mentality to this game, and she did knock down a few points. She brought away 7 points. Whereas Cunningham today, I did see some grit out of Cunningham too, but she came away with 5 points, and it was really nice to see her knock down a 3 more towards the end, just to show that she still had it and she wasn't going to succumb to any sort of slump. Looking at the box score, Sid Colson, who did not score a bucket, was somehow a plus 21. Maybe it was the rotation that she was in. I can't exactly remember, but she did take 3 shots. She didn't hit any. She did have 3 rebounds. She had 3 assists, and, she had a steal. So she made a little bit of an impact on the floor, and she was in for 16 minutes. A lot more than I probably would have put her in. But again, obviously, according to the plus minus, which isn't always right, she was, a positive impact on the court. I will say, though, that I really do think that this game should have been a blowout. I think that with how injured the Chicago Sky was, they were missing Ariel Atkins and they were missing Angel Reese. Those are 2 key players for the Chicago Sky. And there were moments where I saw the Indiana Fever kind of just like losing it, couldn't believe it, was a little bit frustrated. But I have to say, Kelsey Mitchell always had an answer for a Chicago run. Kelsey Mitchell was all over the place, and she is by far the most important person on this team. They run everything through her, and I was watching the Chicago defense. I don't know how they weren't all over double teaming her or triple teaming Kelsey Mitchell, because she was a sniper. She went 12 for 19. She was shooting at 63%. She got 35 points and she was shooting at 63%. She went 7 for 10 at the 3. These are all WNBA numbers. Right now, I'm telling you, number 1 2 guard in the league. And about Caitlin's injury, Holly Rowe, that is the sideline broadcaster, she did say something interesting. She said, Stephanie White did tell us that they will be even more cautious in their approach to her return to play this time. She also talked about how Clark didn't receive adequate practice or ramp-up time when she returned from her previous groin injury on the left side. So this time, they are going to make sure that she has the time in practice to get rhythm and timing with her teammates. She also went on to note that the 3rd week of August as an idea of when it could be a realistic time to bring her back, a realistic window, just in order to manage everything, to get her enough practice time, play with the team, and also noted that her status does remain day to day. And there was an ESPN projection that August 12th would be when Caitlin Clark returns, which is kind of in line with what, Holly Rowe was saying. And, we do have to remember Holly Rowe does work for ESPN. So that could be why what she's saying is in line with them. And maybe this information was passed on to someone at ESPN, to Holly Rowe, Rebecca Lobo, just somebody. And though Caitlin did not play in the game, she apparently did sign over 200 autographs on Barbie night in Chicago at the United Center, which surpasses her previous record of 108. I'm kidding. I really don't know if that's her record, but that was a number that somebody on the side was counting that she had signed in a previous game. All in all, was this a great game? No. Was this a formidable opponent? Absolutely not. Positive takeaways is that Bibby has confidence, so Bibby is balling so far. Kelsey Mitchell put down a masterclass, carried the team, even when Chicago were battling their way back. KK was kicking ass, Lexi was juiced, and somehow Sid Colson was a plus 21 on the court.